Hello, my name is Stoney and I'll be doing the persuasive speech for Lonestar Kingwood. Begin. With Thanksgiving and Christmas break just around the corner, many students will be returning home to visit family and friends that they have missed all year long. However, there are some students who do not get this great opportunity to reunite with family and friends. There are student athletes all over the country who will stay on campus because they cannot leave. Now, this is because they are in a bowl game, in such football game, and they have to prepare mentally and physically if they expect to play well. And we all expect them to play well. Fans, coaches, even their families. Now, the biggest sport, college sport, however, is football. And today I just want to discuss with you the issues of not paying these athletes. The athletes that are in college. And I want to be able to help them earn what they deserve on the field or the court. In order to do this, I will first discuss the problems these athletes have to go through because they are not getting paid. And then I would like to explore the causes of this problem and finally offer simple solutions to fix these problems. The problem is these kids are not being paid at all for their efforts. They're not being paid a little bit, they're not being paid at all. Now, revenues from average Division I football games, as well as bowl games, baseball games, or even March Madness, have brought in revenues of more than $6 billion annually per year. The top 5 highest paid football coaches combined make about $50.5 million combined, while the top 5 college athletes make about $0. Not about, actually $0. And because of the rising costs of living in dorms or food, athlete scholarships, they don't cover enough. They owe the universities money. And students then become desperate and start taking money from boosters or taking deals underneath the table. And we've seen this from a number of famous athletes and just colleges such as like Ohio State, or probably the most famous is SMU, where the football players were taking money, taking cars, buying houses from different boosters, which isn't allowed. Now, athletes are pushed harder and harder every day. And an average football player spends about 40 to 60 hours a week on athletics alone. While the overall time, I'd say, is about 38 hours for any sport, not just football, like baseball, basketball, football, volleyball, sports like that. And every college student is stressed out. We know that. Ask any college student, he'll tell you that they're stressed out. We have projects, tests, quizzes, speeches. Now think about all of that and being a football player having to prepare for an upcoming game throughout the whole week. Pretty stressful. Next, I want to talk about the causes for these problems. And the cause for these problems is the NCAA refuses to not only give a little money, they refuse to pay at all the student athletes. And their main reason is because it ruins the sport. Now, according to the NCAA website, the NCAA was created to protect young people from the dangerous and exploitative athletic practices of the time. In the 1950s, students were allowed to be paid to participate for college because they could not afford the cost to go there. and this caused a lot of complications. So the goal they had set up, they made scholarships. Now, however, many universities did not want to pay the extra funding with these scholarships, and they claimed that it took away from the amateurism of the student athlete. Now, since then, the NCAA has had many rules and expansions to help protect the athlete. Next, I want to talk about the solution, and it's an obvious one. We need to pay the players. I believe student athletes should be paid. They're working harder every day, working the same as a full-time job, and being a student. Now, how would you like it if you worked a 48-hour week just for the benefits of someone else and were expected just to like it? Now, according to ESPN, the average worth of a college basketball player or football player is about $110,000. All the NCAA has to do is allow these students to be sponsored by anybody. They don't even have to pay them. Just let them be sponsored. This will help the school, however, because they don't have to pay them directly. They can just let the sponsors pay them. And this will also help the NCAA manage the corruption that few players go through because they don't have enough money to pay for anything else, like food or housing. And I believe this will balance the colleges, the coaches, and the players. It all brings balance. Like I said before, the coaches and the colleges are getting all this money based on the actual player itself. Now, in order for this to happen, I believe people like you and I have to stand up for the athletes and let the NCAA know how we feel. Like write a letter or call in and tell them. In conclusion, the NCAA has a great opportunity to help these student athletes get paid for their services on the court or the field. The main problem is that these student athletes are not being paid at all, and even with scholarship, these athletes will still owe the money to schools for necessities like food or housing. And the cause for this is the NCAA will not accept the fact that these kids need to be paid. They're unwilling to do so because they feel like it will corrupt the school, the kid, and the sport itself. I believe that with the amount of money these kids make from the universities, they should at least be able to choose a sponsor if a sponsor wants to, sponsor and take them in. And like I said before, these kids are going to school like the rest of us, and also have to be able to perform on games on Friday or Saturday, the games that we want to come watch, the games that the universities expect people to come pay money to watch. And that's all I have to say.